Hello and welcome to the Tarkus Zone. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about the game RivenWorld, and I'm going to just go over the plot size, what the size of it is for purchasing or claiming land in the game. I'm going to show you that mechanism. I'm also going to show you a few details that they've added to the game since the last open beta. And then I'm going to go over a few of the topics we talked about or they talked about in the live stream yesterday. So I'm going to try to package that all into a short video here. So the first thing I want to do is turn around here. After the live stream yesterday from the developers, I made this little area. And I just kind of made it into a graveyard because I figured why not add some atmosphere to the world. So this is what I came up with. Now note the fence. This is a decorative fence that you can make. It seemed to be the type of fence you'd make for a graveyard, so that's the fence I went with. And then you can see by the fence, this is the size of one land claim plot. Now, if I go into my inventory and bring down a land claim token and put it in my hand, you'll see when I go to put it on this land, it's in red. See the red that's around the plot? That means I can't claim this land because I've already claimed it. But that, basically, this is the size. I mean, this is a good size. So if you're in the world and you just want to have to deal with protecting one shrine, I put the shrine here on this little crypt. You go down inside here. If there was a voxel map, I would dig this out and it would be an underground crypt. But the RivenWorld's not a voxel map at this time. It's just you can't manipulate the land at all. You can build on it and you can claim it, but you just can't manipulate it in a voxel way like Minecraft. So that's really it. That's the size of it. Now this building over here, you see how this is green? This means this hasn't been claimed and can be claimed. So if you're looking for a good portion of land or a good section, you could put a shrine here on this corner, one on this corner, and one on this corner, and then you own the. And then what I would do is I'd probably put fencing on these corners. Just a couple fence on the corners. And I would do it on this corner here so that I would know where my property boundaries are when I go to build. Because if you go outside of your claimed area, the world will start gobbling it up. It basically will start destroying it unless you want to repair it. So for example, this land over here isn't claimed. This building here is not unclaimed land. I built this building just so that you could see that you can build on non-claimed land. It's just that the system will slowly start to destroy it. And in doing so, you will have to use the mallet, the one that you use to remove objects. You would use it to repair each and every block that the world was trying to destroy. You'd have to go in here and repair each and every block as the world starts crumbling it down. Or you can just simply claim the land by putting one of these shrines down. They call them shrines. And then once you put the shrine down, I've now claimed that land. So now I own this square, and then I own this square over here. And then in the internal system has me as at -30. That means that because I haven't paid for my claim, my taxes, so I can take any item in the game and throw it in this thing. Any item and get it to get me to positive because I had not. I'm going to take all these half blocks and stick them in there. So now I'm in 30. I'm at positive. So once I go into positive for my taxes, then no harm will come to these buildings at all, as long as I keep up on paying the claim. Now, the claim burns quicker. If I go here, it burns more fuel because I've got 2 claims. And if I go and remove this claim, I no longer own that land because I just removed the claim. I can go to this one here, and I'm still in the positive, and I'm going to burn less. I'm going to burn less fuel. The total number of how much I can put into it as a, I can get this up to 864, and that's where I'll stop, and then it will slowly eat through the taxes or the payment. And then this way, it kind of forces the player to come back at least once a week, or I don't know how long this will last. I mean, depending, I guess it all comes down to the taxes. Right now, you pay your taxes every 30 minutes at a 0.5%. So that's how it works in this game. And you can feed anything you want to these things. Anything you want. You just throw it in there. The higher the quality, the better. So as for the live stream last night, they did very well on it. They just did a building. They just did building. I tried to make this building look like an incinerator, or where you put the bodies to burn them. That's what this building was supposed to be, a cremation building. So you put your bodies in there, and then you can bury them in the graveyard. So I was just adding some atmosphere. Well, let's just go down to the walkway down here. Well, let's talk about the live stream last night. So they did a lot of building. They moved around. They worked together. They talked about this weekend the open beta is going to be, another open beta is going to happen. The water ambient noise in this game is quite loud, so we'll get past there. So this weekend they're hoping to have a few items added to the server, clothing, weapons, at least the bow, I believe, and clothing, and obviously the benches needed to make clothing. So the reason why I wanted to come down here is last night during the live stream, this is what I ended up doing, was just putting up here the newer items. Well, the chest has always been here. You can now access it without a problem. It has this many storage slots. But I wanted to show you the fencing. Each one of these represents the fencing that's in the game now. And you see these combat fencing, the ones that's got the spikes on it. Those will actually have a hit box where you'll be able to destroy them. But if you get too close to them, they'll do damage to you. So that all the combat ones that you see here, they'll do damage if you try to jump over them or run them over with your horse or your mount. And mounts will be in the game in the future after, I think, it's going to early release, and mounts won't be in the game in early release. But hopefully a few months into early release, they'll add the mounts to the system. This door here that you see, this is supposed to be the gate for the fencing. They don't have it opening yet. They got to fix that where it can be opened and closed. This is just the oil lamp. There's another part of the fencing. So I basically just put them up here. I did it two reasons. So I could see each one individually. And actually there's two of them right here. This is not one. Let me actually go into removing one of those. Okay, so that's the size of it right there. I actually stacked two next to each other. And what's nice is once you get it in your inventory, it places nicely any way you want. You can rotate it. I could block this bridge off if I want by just doing that and going right across here and putting those in. Now, the cost to these things are not that high. They really are not. So making them time-wise can take a little bit of time, but the actual resources needed to make these is not so difficult, which is nice. So this way people would more apt to use this than try to create an entire wall. They'll put these things down because they're cheap to make. They take some time to make, but they're cheap to make. All right, let's go down here. They had some other components that they wanted to add to the game. So there is going to be an open beta weekend, I think, this weekend. They have said that they're going to try to add the clothing, and that's going to get tested through the open beta. So they did this cage, this jail cell. Let me explain to you how they explained it to me, and then you guys can chew on it. So when I attack somebody or somebody attacks me and there's a conflict, it's going to get to the point where the person that hits 0 hit points will fall to the ground and be in the knocked out stage. At that point, the person who's attacking or on the winning side of the duel, or whatever you want to call it, the defender or the attacker, can make a decision. Do they just leave that guy there and just walk away? And then the person will eventually come to, and they'll be at 2 or 3 hit points, and then they can go tuck their tail and go somewhere else. They could do that, or they could choose to cart them or put them in a mode where you can move the person while they're in their knocked out position. I think it's a rope mechanic. Well, I got a rope in my inventory. I apply the rope to your body on the ground, and it puts you in a prisoner state. And then from there, I can move you through the world into one of these cages if that's what I want to do. But they're adding a mechanic where if you come to during the knockout phase, let's say you come to and you're in the rope, you can actually have a skill to get yourself out. So if they're trying to move you from where they've knocked you out into a holding cell, there'll be mechanics in the game that will allow you to escape during that period of time. You will also have a chances to escape from these cages too. So that's how that will work. Now, if the person chooses not to capture you or leave you in the nature and they just want to outright kill you, they just keep on hitting on you. Once you go into the knockout phase, they can just continue to hit you. And then at that point, you will die. The person will die. They will respawn somewhere else, and all their stuff gets dropped where they died. In the knockout phase, that's not going to happen. So if you knock somebody out and just want to jail them as a ha-ha, I'm jailing you for a few hours, the person still has all their stuff. So in the cage, they can eat, they can drink as long as they've got it in their inventory. They could use items in their inventory to try to escape. So that's the choice you kind of make, is it's full loot drop if the person actually dies. It's not full loot drop if they're in the phases of capture or just in the knockout phase. So that's something you want to keep in mind. Now, this whole mechanism I'm talking about is not actually in the game yet. This is something that they're hoping to add to the game in the future, this state of death. Now, I know they're making it so that server admins can make a decision if they want these kind of mechanisms on. So if you're going to be getting the game at launch or early access launch and you're a server admin, you could probably shut that feature off, that there's no capturing, there's none of that. There's going to be an economy type of NPCs that will be in this town. They're going to have NPCs in these buildings that will sell you items and buy items from you. If that plugin is on, this land cannot be claimed. So this island or this town area, you can't come and put a claim down and claim it. It's open to everyone. You'll still be able to build here. It's just that the mechanics of the world gobbling it up will take effect because you can't claim the land. And that's to stop people from walling in or permanently walling in the NPCs that are in this town. They also added some shields. I can't really pick these up to show you. They're just here. I did notice last night when I was around them, we got some lag spikes, some frame drops. I think that's just part of the modeling that's going on next to them. But it was happening. There it goes again. So that they'll figure that out. They have some other items here, like the tanning rack. Obviously, that will be part of the professions. A distiller. That looks like for making mead or maybe saltwater distillation. This is just a barrel that looks like it holds some sort of liquid. I'm not really sure what this is. I don't know if there's going to be spacemen that are going to attack us at some point. I'm not really sure what this is. Maybe Tark is just an idiot. Maybe this is the top of a grain silo. I don't know. It looks like a spaceship. Then a more advanced cooking spot. Oh, I can't actually interface with that. The other The other thing they wanted to point out in the live stream and something that they added to the game was the skills. So going to skills, these are the skills that you'll be able to level up, and as you level them up, you'll get better at them and you'll get better rewards or returns from them. So for example, foraging, I've got that to level 9, and I guess when I forage I get a little bit more. My mining's level 6. My wood cutting's level 31. I've done a lot of wood cutting. So again, you'll be able to get more rewards as these get better. I imagine in the future of the game, there'll be more of these added, more skills added, similar to what you were seeing here. Masonry. Now, woodworking kind of gets me like, oh, what's going on with woodworking? I've been making a lot of stuff in this game, so I'm not really sure how woodworking is working in this game. Is it things that I manually make in my crafting? Because it's definitely not giving me any experience making anything on the benches. So maybe that's just not working, because I know I'm getting experience if I craft out of here. If I craft the workbench, I get experience in woodworking. I think that was where I got the 7 experience. Outside of that, I haven't gotten any experience. There's no animals in the game. I don't think they're going to add the animals for this coming weekend, but they might. It's just this weekend is going to be testing out a lot of these newer things that they've added to the game. Now, there wasn't a bench up here. No, there's not really a bench up here for me to actually show you the new listing. I'm just going to look around. Oh, they did add some of the walls that you can, well, I can't even get through them. Now, these won't do damage to me because that mechanic's not on right now. So these are the newer walls and fences that you can build. That one looks neat. I like that one. I think I would have used this one. I wish I knew about this one or saw this one. That one would have been nice for a gate kind of presence for my graveyard. Well, that's it, folks. I just wanted to go over some of the... Oh, is that a chicken coop? Oh, my goodness. They added a chicken coop. That's what Tarkus wants. He wants to own a bunch of cocks. I need a chicken coop. That's what I need. And then they got the windmill that is over there. Yeah, they're putting a lot of work in this. Oh, they got a grinding stone right there. None of this is... I can't interface with any of it right now because they just haven't implemented it in the game yet. But that's it, folks. Just a little update from what they did last night, talking about what their hopes are moving forward, what they're working on. They're really working on the AI. They're working on the clothing. They're working on the weapons, trying to get the bow in. They're trying to get some of these mechanics with the capturing and these extra workstations for people to do stuff. I mean, it looks like they're moving along at a pretty good pace. It's just that it's aggressive pace. I mean, if you're gonna have all these things that you want to try to get into your game, prior to release, then they've got some work to do. But based on what they've done so far in the last couple weeks that I've been watching the development of the game, they've added quite a bit of mechanics, and I've been helping them test it. And in my testing, I found issues. I found bugs, but nothing that were game killing. Nothing that was a problem with the actual game mechanics. Just a little bit of fluff here, fluff there. For example, when you make there's a couple items in the game that you can make, and there's a max button, and then you can put a value in. Well, the max button, you can't hit it because it's getting truncated in the description. So, stuff like that, just housekeeping stuff that I found that have been a little, inconvenient, but not problematic. I mean, everything that I found bug-wise, there was a workaround until they were able to find, get it figured out. They're going to be adding the shovel. Hopefully today they're going to be adding the shovel, so you'll be able to dig up some roots. So when you cut a tree down, you can stop it from regrowing by just, using the shovel on the roots. So that's going to be in the game hopefully today and be available for this weekend. Well, that's it, folks. I want to thank you for joining me. This has been the Tarkus Zone.